Like and dislike create illusions and upset the balance of centeredness. Pleasure and displeasure produce anxiety and disrupt the stillness of one's inner nature. Anger harms the essence of yin, and excitement injures the essence of yang. When yin and yang are unbalanced, speech will be impaired and thoughts will be scattered. When sadness and frustration accompany anger, illness is the result. If there are too many likes and dislikes, mental problems will arise. When there is no sadness or elation, virtue can take hold. When there is no pleasure or displeasure, there is balance. To be at one with the void is to be free from desire. To be centered is to be still. To be undisturbed by worldly matters is to have mental clarity. Attain these states, and you will be united with the light of the Spirit. To be united with the Spirit is to have inner peace. If you can regulate emotion and desire, you will succeed in your endeavors. If you have inner peace, you will be able to deal with the unexpected. If you are at peace with yourself, the 5 viscera, heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys, will be healthy, your thoughts will be clear, your tendons will be strong, and your senses will be keen. When the body is strong and the spirit is clear, you will not be frustrated by obstacles. Your actions will be neither excessive nor inadequate, and you will not be anxious and irritable when things go wrong. You will not feel constricted in a small room or disoriented in a wide open space. Free from desire and anxiety, you will be able to live for a long time. In ancient times, people lived in caves and had few luxuries, but their spirits were strong and they were happy. Today, people live like kings, but they are anxious and worried. This is because people nowadays want to rule and control instead of simply being connected to the vastness of the Tao. People who pursue fame and power will be destroyed by their own ambition. If you spend your life accumulating wealth, you will never be happy because you will never be content. Forever trying to get what you don't have, you will eventually tire the body and harm the spirit. However, if you know the meaning of contentment, you will be able to maintain your health and live for a long time. Thus, if you value life, you must know how to distinguish between wants and needs. You won't find true happiness living in a large and beautiful house. You won't find it touring the world, listening to loud music, seeing glamorous shows, and tasting exquisite foods. You won't find it riding in a luxury vehicle or collecting trophies of magnificent animals. True happiness comes when you are content with what you have. If you are not excited by riches or frustrated by poverty, you are truly happy. If you are truly happy, you can be as still as yin and as brilliant as yang. When Zizia was a student of Confucius, 551 to 479 BCE, he admired the virtue of the sages but was also attracted to the riches. Unable to reconcile wealth and virtue, he became thin and haggard. Finally, when he understood the meaning of virtue, he regained his health. The sage does not let the affairs of the world affect her health and well-being. She does not let desire disturb the stillness of her inner nature. She keeps her emotions in moderation between extremes and maintains her balance no matter what happens. The affairs of the world cannot occupy her thoughts because in her thoughts there is only the oneness of the Tao. If you know the meaning of contentment, you will be comfortable sitting under a tree or sleeping in a cave. On the contrary, if you are not satisfied, you will not be happy even if you have all the treasures in the world. Only those who do not crave happiness will be truly happy, and only those who are free from elation and sadness will know true contentment. Some people are comfortable only when they are surrounded by sounds and sights. They feel happy only when there is loud music, good wine, and the company of beautiful people. However, when the party is over, they are left with an uncontrollable loneliness, as if they have lost everything. People experience inner emptiness because they do not know the meaning of true happiness. They try to find happiness in material things and sensual pleasure, and they are sad and lonely when the music stops and the crowd leaves. Trapped in an endless cycle of elation and sadness, they do not realize that true happiness is found in stillness and inner contentment. They live out their lives in illusion, injuring themselves and losing that which can give them true happiness. If you cannot find contentment within, you will be tempted to find satisfaction outside. But things that satisfy you externally cannot nourish your skin and strengthen your bones, nor can they nurture your internal organs. Without inner contentment, happiness will not last, even if you possess all the riches of the world. Today, many people talk about the wisdom of the ancients, but few know how to practice it. People want the wisdom, but do not want the discipline required by the practices. They imitate the rituals, but their actions have no substance. Floating leisurely on a river, riding in a luxurious carriage, watching dancers whirl around in silk, listening to music that excites, hunting waterfowl by the banks of a lake, and stalking deer in the forest. These are activities that many think will bring them happiness. The sage, however, is not deluded. He knows that being attached to worldly things will weaken his spirit and disturb his inner stillness. Living in a shack with bare walls, feeling the cold wind coming through the windows, slogging through a marsh and climbing over mountains to get provisions, being away from the comforts of a large city. These are conditions that will drive an ordinary person mad. The sage, however, does not let her surroundings affect her inner peace. The crow makes the same cries in summer and winter. Why should we behave differently in good and bad times? Life and inner nature are originally united. When the fetus emerges in the mother's womb, life is formed. When this life leaves the mother's womb, feelings of like and dislike arise. Through socialization, regulations and rules of behavior develop. However, those who have embraced the Tao do not need rules to tell them how to behave. Behaviors are only responses to situations, and if you are stuck in one mode of behavior, you will not be able to adapt to changing circumstances. Those who can hold their inner nature of stillness are connected to the Tao. Depending on the circumstances, they can be round or square, bent or straight, bright or dull. They can change with the situation, yet be as permanent as the sky and the earth.